And once done, then I'll start the recording and we'll get started. At the end, after the group healing, we'll stop the recording and uh, any broadcasting so that we can spend some time privately. If any of you have any issues you'd like to bring into the experience here with Anke, I know she would welcome that as well. So, and while we're doing the group healing, if you could keep your mics on mute, and of course at the end, be sure to unmute your mic if you have something you'd like to say once we've stopped the recordings. So that being said, let me start the recording for you. And
thank you so much for joining us for this ThetaHealing Circle, especially for taking the time on election day. There may be a lot going on around you or in your minds. You know, some of you may have some fears or some worries, concerns. So it's great that you're choosing to be here, no matter what's going on in your life. For those of you that are watching the recording too, very possibly your mind is concerned about something, maybe worried about something. So it's so great that you're taking time for yourself to come back to our true essence, to that love and the compassion that's always in our soul. And it's so important to focus on forgiveness. Sometimes people are not ready for forgiveness because they think, well, if I forgive this person that hurt me, I make myself more vulnerable and the person can attack me, abuse me, hurt me again. So they hold on to that pain, shock, trauma, sometimes even anger, hatred. And it really gets stored in the body over time, and it can create, sometimes with hatred, it can create disease, which is really dis-ease, doesn't have to be a terminal disease necessarily. But it's very important to let go of these emotions for ourselves, not just forgiving the other person to help the other person move forward, but also ourselves. And as a reminder, we matter as much as everybody else. I know there are some people that focus much more on themselves than others, but I feel the people that show up for these kinds of events and healing opportunities, it's usually those that give a lot and maybe sometimes too much of their own energy. So let's come back to balance so we can be loving and compassionate towards others and ourselves at the same time. And we have so many energies in us, each of us, all over the world. Our ancestors have gone through so much, and many times they needed to fight to be able to survive. They needed to overcome, they needed to struggle, they needed to sacrifice just to be able to be alive. And they've gone through a lot to develop certain beliefs, mindsets, patterns that serve them many times in survival, in learning and growing. And all of that is in our DNA too. Now, some of it we've already connected with, and you may have released it over the years or over lifetimes. But a lot of it may still be in us. So subconsciously, there may still be energies of, I have to work myself to the bones to earn a living. I have to struggle to live in this world, to live in this dimension, or to learn, to grow. So the hardship and also giving up, sorrow, grief, maybe some anger, resentment may come up. And that may be coming up from our ancestors or from a past life or possibly our childhood. So we connect with whatever needs to come up and out for us to be able to dive more deeply into compassion, forgiveness towards others and ourselves, and that unconditional love that the soul already is. We can say, oh, I'm loving, I'm compassionate, I don't have a problem forgiving somebody. And that's great. And we still need to go into any blocks that we have, any limiting energies, beliefs, emotions, so that we can go even deeper into that pure love, compassion, and forgiveness. And this week, I'm actually taking a Theta Healing World Relations teacher class online. And we work a lot, every day, we work a lot on the ancestral energies because they're still in our DNA. So it's very helpful to learn more about our ancestors and what served them, what behaviors, what patterns, what beliefs serve them. And then we can feel out, okay, does that still serve me today in this world or not? And then we can choose to either let it go with gratitude or hold on to it, or maybe use it at certain times, maybe not all the time. So a lot going on in every person, and it's great to have compassion towards everybody because we all have so many different energies and emotions in us. If somebody seems to be disrespectful or seems to overpower others, it's usually from a place of fear and from a place of feeling disrespected. Maybe they were disrespected as a child, or again, the ancestors felt that they needed to overpower another nation or somebody else to be able to survive. Um, Sometimes feeling like a victim comes up. So we don't need to victimize somebody else so that we're not victimized. So lots of things to reflect on. And I'm partly sharing all of this so that whatever is in you and in your DNA can start to get triggered and then it comes up and we can clear it. So don't feel bad if some negativity is being stirred up right now because it's part of the purpose of this talk so that then we can open up to even seeing and knowing what we like to release and how we can go more deeply into compassion. And ideally, we love everybody unconditionally, and I would say everybody's soul. We don't need to love everybody's opinions and mindsets and behaviors, choices, but everybody's soul, because the soul is that pure essence, that divine essence. We're all part of God, we're all sparks of God. So everybody's soul is divine. And that's a wonderful reminder when we flow through life and when we meet people who may not seem so compassionate. Let's remember that their soul is also love. So just close your eyes and take a moment to reflect on this and reflect on what may be in you that's preventing you from truly feeling pure love, pure compassion, without resentment. What needs to shift in you to be able to fully forgive yourself, forgive somebody who's hurt you or somebody else, who may have hurt an animal or plants, the earth. Are you ready to fully forgive the Creator for allowing any pain to happen? What needs to change for you, in you, to be able to live in love, compassion, and forgiveness? And you don't need to type it in the comments or share it out loud. It's just for you to reflect. I'm going to guide you through the Theta Healing meditation, and then we're going to go into the group healing. So just keep your eyes closed. Right now, I have my fingertips touching. It's a beautiful mudra for centering, focus, and then I'm relaxing my hands onto my legs. You can also have your palms up to receive fresh energy, whatever feels nurturing for you right now. And center yourself in your heart. Breathe into your heart center. Breathing with compassion, love, and forgiveness. And then expand out from your heart. Become one with the room that you're in, your whole being, the chair or sofa that you're on, the room that you're in. Continue expanding out, become one with the apartment or the house, the building that you're in. Become one with the town or city where you are right now. Become one with the state. Continue expanding out. Feel or imagine that you're becoming one with all states, with the country that you're in. Continue expanding out. Allow yourself to become one with all the countries. Become one with the earth, the whole planet. Continue expanding. Become one with all the planets, one with the whole world, with the universe. You're becoming one with the pure white light of the Creator. And feel that you're almost dissolving, your body is almost dissolving, you're melting into that oneness with the Creator. Pure white light. There's no more sense of separation. You're one with all that is, and it's completely safe. And when you feel that oneness, you're in the seventh plane of existence. And continue breathing with this oneness and the energy of unconditional love. Breathe it into every cell of your being, your body, mind, spirit, and soul. And just enjoy this connection, this oneness, and this unconditional love. And from here, we're going to go into the group healing. So keep your eyes closed. Continue feeling this unconditional love. And with everything that we'll do, I'm going to ask you for permission, given that we have free will. So it's all between you and the Creator. I invite you to say yes out loud if something resonates with you. Even if it just resonates slightly, because 88% is subconscious, if not more. So we work a lot with the subconscious. And then in the silence, the energy shifts on the history, core, genetic, and soul level. So it shifts for the whole genetic line, as long as somebody's not resisting it. Shifts through all time and space, past lives, the time from conception in this life until now. Shifts in the soul, on the soul level, which is all that we are. So deep reprogramming of the conscious mind, subconscious mind, and the DNA. You'd like to know how to be in tune with your ancestors and at peace with your ancestors and trust that it's possible.
Yes.
And again, in the silence, it's being downloaded.
Yes.
If you don't mind, if you can mute your microphone, this way we also don't get any background sounds. Sometimes we get some static or some sounds. And you're basically saying yes to the Creator, to the universe. And I feel it, I feel energy a lot. So I feel it when you say yes, and then it's being downloaded into you or released if it's a limiting energy. Would you like to release the energy of conflict or fight that's in you that no longer serves you from Creator's perspective?
Yes.
And I usually say that no longer serves you because some of it may serve us to be able to fight when we have to, when we need to. But a lot of it is just energy. We put a lot of energy into that fight that really doesn't serve us anymore. Like to know how to live without fight and conflict within yourself and with others that no longer serves you.
Yeah.
Like to release the belief that you have to fight, you have to combat, you have to overcome and battle to be able to make it in this life.
Yeah.
And again, we're releasing the having to. So you still can in certain situations when you need to, but you don't have to on a day-to-day basis. Would you like creators' discernment, perspective on when to use the energy of fight um, and when to be at peace?
Yes.
Would you like to forgive those that have hurt you, that have hurt the earth, animals, and other people? Really breathe with forgiveness. Like to trust on all levels that it's safe for you to forgive those and also forgive yourself for subconsciously co-creating it, and forgive the creator for allowing the abuse, attack, the pain to happen. Like to release the belief that if you don't have any fight in you or conflict in you, you're going to be vulnerable and you're going to be attacked or abused. Can we align your definition, perspective, and understanding of unconditional love, compassion, and forgiveness with Creator's definition, perspective, and understanding? And our definition, perspective, and understanding of a certain feeling is usually based on experiences that we've had. So there may have been some ups and downs, and it's not completely pure. From Creator's perspective, the feeling is completely pure. So the more we can align our truth about the feeling with Creator's truth, the more we can be in this energy of it just is, without any drama or pain or even expectations. Like to let go of all expectations and attachments that may create disappointment. Part of practicing self-love. Like to allow yourself to be completely who you are, who you're meant to be, and allow others to be who they're meant to be. Like to know how to be compassionate towards people who you completely disagree with. And trust that it's possible without needing to agree with them or lose your truth in their truth. Like to know how to see the beauty in disagreements, in different opinions, different ways of being, and different ways of doing. How to see the beauty and the growth opportunity in that rather than feeling resistance. Like to know how to enjoy differences and be open to differences and trust that you can live in harmony with people who are different. It's all being downloaded on the history, core, genetic, and soul level. Some of you that are very energy sensitive may feel tingling or a rush of energy. Sometimes people get hot. And if you don't feel these sensations, it still works. It's always the practitioner that witnesses the shifts in each person. So then you'll experience the changes in life. Would you like to know what it feels like to be treated in a loving way and with compassion, and know that you deserve it and you're worthy of it? And I feel most of us are pretty compassionate towards others, but would you like to know how to be as compassionate and loving towards yourself as you are to other people?
Yeah.
And your animals too. It's interesting how it's coming up. Would you like to forgive the earth and forgive God and the Creator for so-called natural disasters, for hurricanes, for uh, anything that happened, tsunamis, anything that happened inside the earth that killed people and made people struggle a lot? Like to release all anger and resentment towards people who just don't seem to get it, who don't seem to be compassionate, who don't seem to really care about others. Like to allow yourself your own journey of growth and self-realization, and allow others their journey without getting impatient.
Yes.
Like to know how to learn lessons in a compassionate way, and allow others to learn lessons in a compassionate way without having to go through intense pain or struggle.
Yes.
And trust that it's possible, and trust that you deserve to learn and grow with ease and grace. Like to know how to live without abusing another person in any way or creating harm to another person, and without allowing any abuse or attack or harm into your life. Like to release the old deep belief that you must experience pain to learn deep lessons.
Yes.
Like to allow the Creator, allow God to teach you deep lessons through love and compassion. Like to know how to be kind to your body, to your mind, to your whole being, and to each other. Would you like to release all sadness, grief, despair from times when you felt misunderstood? And sometimes we hold that grief, despair, sadness in the lungs and the respiratory system. So just breathe it out so it can clear out your respiratory system and really your whole being. All the energies take up space. So let's create free, clear space for love and compassion. Would you like to release the belief that you need to feel sadness to be able to have compassion for others? Would you like to know how to live without taking on other people's pain to be compassionate? Resentment, grudges, regret, they affect the kidneys, lungs, and liver over time. So would you like to release all of those that no longer serve you from Creator's perspective?
Yes.
Breathe it out and let it all go with gratitude. And let's replace all the limiting energies with Creator's unconditional love. Is that okay? Would you like to know how to help other people to learn and to grow without mm, doing something against yourself or giving yourself up?
Yes.
Would you like to release the old belief that you have to sacrifice yourself for others? And these days now, would you like to know how to be of service to others, help others, be there for others in compassion and love and forgiveness without hurting, abusing, or leaving yourself behind? Would you like to know how to treat others and yourself and the animals, the plants, the earth, our planets with respect? Would you like to trust, know, and feel on all levels that God's unconditional love is that energy that heals? And would you like to know that you're worthy of receiving God's unconditional love, that healing energy from God? Would you like to release the old ancestral belief that you have to overpower others to survive? And again, it may not resonate with you in this life, but it may still be in your DNA from way back. Would you like to know how to be and feel equal and trust that men and women in all nations can be equal? Would you like to release the belief that life is painful, hard, challenging, and unfair? Would you like to know what it feels like to have your life be filled with love and compassion in all areas of your life? Would you like to know and feel that you're worthy of other people's love and you're worthy of God's love? Would you like to fully forgive yourself for everything that you thought that you did that you thought was a mistake? And really breathe that in. Allow that forgiveness into every cell of your being. Sometimes we logically think about it, but really allow it into your body, to your heart, into your belly. Sometimes the deep emotions get stuck in the belly. To really allow it through the whole body, that beautiful healing forgiveness. You like to know that you're loved by God unconditionally, and that God has already forgiven you a long time ago. And just notice how you feel right now. How's your mind? How does your heart feel? You may feel a softer energy in you and around you. A softer energy that allows for changes through compassion and love without forcing or pushing anything, just allowing. Like to fully allow the Creator to guide you through life. And the worthiness is coming up again. Can we align your definition, perspective, and understanding of self-worth and worthiness with Creator's definition, perspective, and understanding? Like to trust that you're worthy of feeling loved, feeling nurtured, and feeling supported. Nice. And let's just fill all of you and your homes with Creator's unconditional love. Is that okay? And let's take a moment and send unconditional love to all the people that are struggling, to all the people that you disagree with. Hopefully you're not holding any grudge or any resentment towards anybody anymore, but anybody who you may disagree with, all the people that are struggling, people that are going through dealing with COVID in all different ways. Just let's send unconditional love out into the world. Compassion, forgiveness. And of course, we all have free will, so it's up to the people that we're sending the love to, whether they allow it in or how much of it they allow in. We're just sending them love without any expectations, and what they choose to do with it is up to them. And that's the compassion too, allowing them to choose whether they let it in. Sometimes I see that they just allow it around the body, but not really into their space. Sometimes I see little drops come in that they feel safe to allow in. And over time, sometimes people allow more love in. So, however they receive it is perfect at this time. Allowing each person their own free choice, free will, their own journey. Like to trust that who you are and what you do is enough and good enough. And would you like to fully love yourself, honor yourself, respect yourself unconditionally? From a place of self-love, not from an ego. Oh, I love myself so much, but just a self-nurturing and self-love. Like to love your ancestors unconditionally, your whole genetic line unconditionally. Again, even if you don't agree with some of their choices or their patterns, but just their souls. Let's integrate everything that we shifted into your whole being on all four levels: history, core, genetic, and soul level, through all time and space, in your highest and best way. Is that okay? Would you like to know how to move forward with all these changes, all these energy shifts, with clarity, love, compassion, and forgiveness? And just take a few breaths. You can breathe into your heart center, or breathe into any area of your body that you feel needs an extra dose of unconditional love. Practicing self-love, self-nurturing, compassion towards yourself. And just feel that every cell of your being is filled with love, compassion, and forgiveness. It's very light. I feel it as a very light and free, joyful, almost giggly feeling. And it may be different for each of you, so just allow what you're experiencing. And start deepening your breath, breathing with love, compassion. And you know that you can still feel this love and compassion when you bring some movement into your body. You might like to bring some movement into your fingers and toes. Stretch your arms up if that feels good. Loving, compassionate, nurturing. Maybe roll your shoulders a few times. Moving with love and compassion. Whenever you like, you can slowly come back to the space and open your eyes. Remember that the love and compassion is always in our soul, in everybody's soul. Sometimes we just need to remind ourselves that it's there in all of us. So let's continue to focus on that love, compassion, forgiveness towards everybody so we can co-create harmony within us and in this world. Thank you so much for joining us and share this love and compassion with the world. Namaste. And for those of you that are watching the recording, please subscribe to our YouTube channels. There are lots of great resources to stay healthy, happy, peaceful, joyful, pranayams, yoga classes, meditations, theta healing, and let us know what else is helpful for you so that you can stay peaceful and joyful, healthy,